Meanwhile, in this issue of What If Storm said what was on her mind to the Quiet Council? Storm, yes, our next order of business is very important. We're going to need you to fly
All right,
up
listen,
to...
Sebastian Shaw, why don't you shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up. All right, I just want to say something, okay? Now that this whole sinister shit is over with, okay? Here's what I gotta say. Xavier, fuck you.
What?
Mystique, fuck you. Destiny, fuck you.
I knew it.
Emma, fuck you.
Oh,
Kitty, remember that time where you hated my mohawk?
Yeah.
Fuck you, too, bitch. Fuck all of you. I'm just gonna worry about Storm, okay? You can all fuck off. The only one I'm gonna fuck with is Colossus here. Colossus, you're my main man. You got my back, okay? Right?
Help me, I'm being mind controlled.
Oh my God, isn't he hilarious? I love that. All right, well, I'm gonna go back to Mars and the rest of you can go fuck off. Bye.
Oil can. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 260, Too Sexy, of Comic Book Queers, Legacy. I am your host, Brett, and with me, as always, is your host, EvilJeff. Hi, EvilJeff.
Hello, 260. Does that number have any significance for anything?
Too Sexy does.
Okay.
Whoa.
260 for your love.
260 for your party. The way I'm disco dancing.
I love how those Right Said Fred were all just clearly a bunch of faggots.
Big faggots.
And back in 1990, everyone was like, oh, they're
so
funny.
manly.
Yeah, they have big muscles, so they must be straight.
Look at them, they're so manly. Oh, straight people. When will they ever learn?
That was back when people would watch Liberace and be like, oh my God, I love he's so handsome. I wonder if maybe he could meet my daughter.
I'll always be dreaming about that hunky rock Hudson. He's a real man.
Well, he did.
No,
come
he was
across
given.
very
He was
straight.
given straight man. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Kind of a queen though, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, girl.
Listen, do we have any hot topics?
Do we have any hot topics? I'd like to give a little shout out, especially with Storm giving a fuck you. I just want to give a quick fuck you to Richard Dreyfuss. I don't know if you read about that.
Oh, what did he do? Richard Dreyfuss.
Well, the Oscars.
Is this a hot topic?
It is.
Okay, hit that music.
Okay, hit it. We got some hot topics. Yeah. The Oscars just updated their requirements to be nominated for Best Picture.
Okay.
And they actually are like, you have to have some form of inclusion.
Yes.
And I will tell you this, when you read the requirements, you can have pretty much an all-white cast. You can have an all-white story and still get...
But they're quantifying it, right?
It is, yeah. It's not hard. It's really not hard.
It's almost as if it should be that way naturally anyway.
Yeah, it's really just pushing a thing behind the scenes of let's stop just getting your nephew to come get a job. Let's actually hire people. Let's stop getting interns and actually paying people and getting more diverse people in. It's nothing crazy. But Richard Dreyfuss decided to go all right-wing nut job and be like, this makes me want to vomit. And then he ended it with, yes, it makes him want to vomit. How woke everything is.
Vomit.
And then he ended it with, did you know Laurence Olivier was the last white person to play Othello, and that means I can never play Othello, and so I can never play that's ridiculous to say I can never play a black person again.
You should never be playing Othello. You should never be playing Othello.
And then it's just crazy where it's like, okay, that's the hill you want to die on, that I should be able to play black people. And so a good old Richard Dreyfuss, go fuck yourself.
Richard Dreyfuss,
what's the last thing you've ever done?
You can shove it up Mr. Holland's anus, okay?
Yeah. You're just mad because you don't have a career anymore.
Anyway, bring out the jaws of life for Richard Dreyfuss's career.
That's all I got.
What a soapbox. Fuck you, Richard Dreyfuss. Ew.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of these old ass men talking.
Yeah.
Straight men.
Oh, and then another hot topic, just to by the time this comes out, Trump was convicted of
Liable.
he was found liable
for sexual
assault.
Sexual assault. Also,
Yeah.
Evil Jeff, do you have any insider insight to the WGA strike at all? Like how fucked up it is, and again, how the ask is minimal?
Yeah, basically, I think the problem is they know they're going to have to give in.
They will.
And so I think they're going to try and push it for as long as they can. So they're going to basically try and push it until they run out of material. Because they're doing these threats of like, oh, we're going to do AI. And you're like, AI is like the AI.
Have you read an AI? Have you read an AI script?
We did. We read the Storm and Jean Grey
they're
one.
Awful, and they all end the same. Well, so do movies.
Yeah, but it's also because you can't. And I will tell you this: the AI thing will be very prescient when you talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. AI is the same problem that what's his name? What's his name?
High Evolutionary.
The High Evolutionary. His problem with creating perfect mankind is the same problem with AI. I think there's there's a limit on AI where it needs to become sentient before it can be creative.
Of
so
course.
You really can't ask it. They're like, oh, we'll just have you we're just going to take a book and tell AI to make a movie out of it. I'm like, that would be garbage. Do you know
it feels like such a false counter to the writer's argument. Well, like, we're just going to use AI. Like, no, you're not. It's such a fake threat. I mean,
and who knows? Maybe one day, maybe AI will be capable of it, but not today.
They're working on it right now.
So fucking pay the money.
It's minuscule. It's like less than 2% of profits that writers are asking for.
Yes, but here is the main problem. They're saying, oh, it's less than this. Here's the problem, though. No streaming service has ever made a profit.
Well, every streaming
service that has money, they're like Amazon Prime, they do not make a profit on the shows. They make a profit on the store. Disney does not make a profit on Disney Plus. The Warner Brothers, Max, that does not make a profit. Netflix has never made a profit.
But don't they tell their investors they're making profits?
Well, that's why do you think the mess with HBO Max is happening? Because it got bought by Discovery, which did make a profit. And they're like, we're going to make this profitable. We're going to destroy all of these things, take everything off forever, do it by tax write-ups. That's what you get when you start trying to make it profitable. The only problem is all of these things like HBO has Discovery, they all have something that is profitable separate.
Yeah. Yes.
Netflix does not have that. And Netflix is the holdout. Netflix is the holdout that doesn't want to pay because they do not have any money.
Amazing.
So
yeah, they'll fail.
But here's what's going to happen is they're basically just going to release, we're just going to get a whole bunch of crappy, the last of the written shows are going to come out. And then we're going to get a bunch of reality TV. And that's the thing. Reality TV is fun, but people do not want just reality TV. And here is where the danger is. If you have too much crap on TV, everyone is just going to start watching TikToks. And if they and most young people are like, oh, these TikToks are more enjoyable. I don't need to go back to streaming.
And then
if you lose the streamers, they're never going to come back.
They'll never come back because their attention span will be gone. Like there will be no more long form attention span.
Yeah, so that's the thing is they need to they think they have the power, but they have no power.
It's inevitable.
So they need to give the writers the money they need.
Yeah, and if it means the end of Netflix, so be it.
Although I still am mad at the unions, me personally. This is the one thing, my gripe with unions is that I can never get in any of them.
Oh, really?
They feel when I write things, when I edit things, they feel the shows I work on World of Wonder don't count. They're not big enough to count for the union. So I'm just like, well, fuck me.
Well, you hear that, fans? Write your local 230.
So you think like, don't you want more people in the union? Let me in. I want to be in a union. I want to go on strike.
Well, not yet, because we got some comics and TV shows. I'm sorry, movies to talk about.
I'm striking for the rest of this episode.
Oh, my dreams have come true. Hello, everyone. I'm Brett.
But yeah, I think let's talk about a movie we saw.
I would love to.
A Marvel movie we saw.
I'd love to.
What is that movie? Well, first, let's hit the music. I always feel like I'm watching a comic movie or TV. Woo!
I'm sorry, what was your question?
What movie is it that we saw?
Well, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the end of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, EvilJeff.
That is correct. Woo!
Should we say whether we loved it or hated it on 3?
On the count of 3?
Okay.
Yes, I'll do the countdown. 1, 2, 3.
Girl.
Loved it.
Girl,
What'd you
girl,
say? Wait,
girl.
oh, you just said girl.
Girl.
It was great.
Loved it. Like, loved it.
And I will tell you this. You can't watch this after watching Ant-Man and still think
Ant-Man is good. I literally texted, "Oh fuck Quantumania" to my friend Jamie. I was like,
Yeah,
in retrospect, fuck Quantumania. Like now I see what garbage that looked like.
But here's the thing, from the character arcs, from the world building, like the way the aliens looked, the way like literally the production design, everything on every level,
everything was so beautiful.
It's just perfect.
It was gorgeous. I mean, like Nathan Fillion in that dumb corn cob.
It's hilarious.
Suit.
That suit was great because it looked like what are those? It reminded me of those tardigrades. What are they called? Those little
those microscopic pig things. Yeah,
and here's the deal: is Marvel you need to have a meeting because you just gave up. You first canceled way too prematurely. And this is the thing, too, is they canceled James Gunn for some tweets from like 2009.
Yeah, that were resurrected by some troll.
That he already apologized for.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is people talk about cancel culture is in the end, the people that deserve to be canceled. And I think the real problem is a lot of times people just need to take a step back. And people get so scared that the mob is going to come after them when it's really like, just use some common sense. Did this person rape somebody? Yes, we're canceled. Goodbye. I think they made a big mistake doing that because he's like, I don't want to stay with Marvel. He's now the head of DC.
Which I'm so excited for after seeing this movie.
He can't do anything wrong. He's never failed to deliver on anything he's ever done.
That's right. He's not even allowed to cast his brother and wife in things without people freaking out, even though his wife got the biggest laugh out of me in the entire movie.
Oh, when she got shot?
Yes.
It was great. But not only that, he's also casting half the cast of Peacemakers in it. I mean, the High Evolutionary is in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
He's just using all of his favorite people.
You know, he's also using a lot of his favorite tricks in this. This one felt very Slither at times, and we loved to see it. There was a scene where, and spoilers abound, everybody. If you have not seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, turn back now. This is your final warning. When the Guardians are releasing all of the High Evolutionaries' experiments and prisoners, and Mantis sees that like horrific, I don't even know what, that little blob with legs. And she's like, thank you. He's like, thank you. That was some Slither shit, and it was hilarious.
But here's the thing is, I think DC for a while, they relied on Zack Snyder, who was always a phony. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it.
Always a puff daddy.
It was all pomp. It was all like sound and fury signifying nothing. And their difference is like, oh, Marvel has kind of leaned into the Joss Whedonism of the joke, serious. And they're like, well, we're going to go the Chris Nolan route with Zack Snyder.
Absolutely affected by Nolan.
Serious.
Absolutely.
And then they started realizing, oh, wait, but James Gunn, who is kind of in that realm of joke, serious joke, action, they're like, he's actually kind of the best at this. But this is where James Gunn is smart. He did not say, I'm now going to make every DC movie like a James Gunn show. No, he's like, I'm going to let universes stay separate. I'm going to let Batman be Batman. I'm going to let the Joker be the Joker. And then I'm going to have my stuff be my stuff. It's so smart. Marvel should be shaking in its boots because this could be the last great Marvel movie. It's going to switch.
I think it will. I think the energy and the momentum and the attention could switch over unless Marvel does the X-Men.
Because the Marvel's trailer played. And I will love it because I love those characters, but it doesn't have the same gravitas. It doesn't seem to have the same cohesion of vision that this does.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the Marvels is not going to do well.
I think that Kevin Feige needs to let go. I think this was an exercise in trusting James Gunn completely.
Exactly.
And I still hold that if they would have trusted Chloe Zhao completely, Eternals would have been a much better movie.
Yeah, because they had to. The things that made the Eternals bad is when they tried to revert it back. Let's put some jokes in it.
Right.
Let's put some of this stuff in it. Let's
Marvel it up.
It's like that. Let's marvel it up. Where it's like, how about we don't marvel it up?
Don't marvel it up.
And let her just do her vision.
I mean, I even hold, looking back, like you shouldn't have ever let Edgar Wright go and let him have done whatever he wanted to do to Ant-Man.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I'm very interested in like, what was the thing that let him go that made him?
Yeah. I mean, it probably was like he did things that didn't fit into overall macro narrative, crossover plot.
Who gives a shit?
Well,
and that's the other thing is where we get too mad about things connecting. Let things be a little bit more separate. Although you got mad when things didn't connect with, which I liked, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and you did not because of the Scarlet Witch.
Well, no, yeah, it wasn't. It was like a complete nonsense place to put the Scarlet Witch to advance the plot that they wanted to hit. Like it didn't make any sense coming out of WandaVision, and I still hold that to be true. But the thing I loved about Guardians, back to Guardians, is that it was just about them. Yeah. It was just about the Guardians of the Galaxy, which was the most powerful part of it because it was very much about them. Every single character had some sort of an emotional arc and was in some way in a relationship-based story. Even stupid Cosmo, the telekinetic dog, Maria Bakalova's character, even her like, you called me a bad dog, say I'm a good dog. Even that was an emotional character arc. Like it doesn't need to be hard. It just needs to be steeped in relationship and about the way somebody feels. And it's going to work. And that's what he knows. Because that was what was behind everything. All of the beautiful visuals and the action, impeccable action sequences. It was about relationships and how we make each other feel. It was so good.
Yeah, it was great. And I think that's the thing is when you have... Like, I was watching the fights between, like, Nebula and Gamora and Peter when, like, Star-Lord and all them were fighting. It was just like, this is just written so well. I believe these relationships. And I think that's where it's like there's things where you can't just phone that in.
I have so much to say about those. Can we focus on those three characters now? Because the first thing I want to say is sitting there realizing the journey that Nebula has been on and realizing how the fuck did she get the best character arc in the MCU? Nebula.
Yeah. And for me, the apex of it was, and this is the first time I cried in the movie, is I didn't even cry with a lot of the Rocket stuff.
No. Yeah, I agree.
But I cried when Nebula found out Rocket was
thank you. Thank you. Because right there.
I fucking cried.
There, but think about it. Go back, talk about the journey. How many scenes have Rocket and Nebula had together? They were the only two Guardians left. During the blip, it was just those two. And they formed this beautiful friendship. And it's something that is so background, but so real and there. And then it all comes out in that moment. I mean, Karen Gillan in that moment was incredible.
Yeah. She's great.
She's great. And just the fact that Nebula and Gamora switched roles. They had a complete role reversal. Gamora is now the Nebula. Yeah. It's so good. And about Gamora, my friend Jamie said this, I'm going to cheer every time she's thrown off that cliff in Infinity War now. Because I love this Gamora so much more. She actually feels like the deadliest woman in the universe. Finally. Yeah. Yeah, it's really great. It also, here's the thing is we love to shit on Chris Pratt in this podcast. Let's talk.
We love to shit on Chris Pratt.
We do.
Chris Pratt as a person, he's kind of gross. But But
However,
ever since Parks and Rec, I always thought he was a hilarious actor. But he's really good in this.
He's so good in this, and Star-Lord is so good in this. Star-Lord is sympathetic and heroic. Yeah, it's nothing I've ever felt towards that character before. I despise him in Volume 2. At the end of Volume 2, I was like, could they please just kill Star-Lord and Chris Pratt off? He is also,
he's annoying in Endgame,
and he's in Endgame is
Infinity War, because he's the one that, at least he admitted in this movie, that he is the reason.
I lost my temper.
He's like,
I killed half the world.
Exactly.
But it's that he had this like weird self-awareness in this movie, and it wasn't like you just got to put up with him because this is how this dickhead acts. No, like he's got shit that he's acknowledging and that he's choosing to work through, and he's background. He's not the protagonist. He's the Rocket. Yeah. Another role reversal. Rocket becomes our lead protagonist, even dropping the line on Rocket, don't you get it? The story has always been yours. Hello. But then Star-Lord is now the backup, and it worked.
Yeah.
Plus, breaking Star-Lord's heart worked. Again, made him human and sympathetic.
And let's not forget. Oh, just another mention: the Uda, the person they
love
took.
Her.
She was in Suicide Squad. She was the rat girl.
Oh wow! I love.
He's using.
Oh,
everybody.
She's great.
And Pete Davidson.
He's in the credits.
Is he one of the aliens?
He's in the very end of the credits, and I think it's in order of appearance. I don't know.
And then also let's remember Drax and Mantis are amazing in it too.
Amazing, especially rapport. Mantis, like giving her a real relationship with Peter, the brother-sister relationship that they unveiled in the holiday special. Brilliant, because now she's the one who's trying to like push Peter into fixing himself, getting over his trauma.
Yeah.
But then her and Drax are hilarious, and Drax steeping him in his dadhood, in his fatherhood, when that was his whole thing in the first movie, was that he lost his daughter. That was his whole thing.
You're not
and then
a destroyer.
Never heard about it again.
You're a dad. And you're like,
my God. And he was so good with those stupid kids. And then that girl turned out to be Phyla fucking Vel. Hello.
What is that? Can you, is that from
it's the other half of Moondragon, honey.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. But just as a kid.
Classic Guardian, just as a kid.
But was she ever a kid in the comics?
I don't think so. She was young.
Oh, okay.
You know, but it's like the future Guardian. She's going to grow up to be Phyla Vel and meet her fabulous bald girlfriend. And
also, Adam Warlock was a great Poulter. I love that because it was funny being like, why are they choosing him? And they're like, oh, he's comedic relief, actually.
He's comic relief. Why?
He's stupid.
Why did they cast him? Oh, that's why.
And I will tell you this. I don't know. I don't read a lot of Guardians, so I don't know much about Warlock's character.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Stupid?
Like, no.
Is he stupid in the comics?
No, he's boring. He's boring superhero guy in the comics. He's no like long shot in the Outback era. You know what I mean? I don't think he is anyway.
Wait, are you saying Longshot was boring?
Naive.
Or stupid? Oh, naive. Okay. Where is Longshot? All right. I miss Longshot.
I do too. Okay. Can we talk about Groot?
Groot.
Yeah. How did you interpret his last line?
I think that last line, he actually was saying, I am Groot.
I completely disagree.
Because he was like, I am Groot. And when he says, I am Groot, it actually sounds like something else. No, you're saying that he probably did say, I am Groot, but we finally understood what he was saying.
Yeah. Just because the whole, the Gamora scene where he was like, I am Groot. And she just went, yeah, thanks. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's when he lets you in. Okay. And he let us in.
Yeah.
I cried big time.
Oh, like
that connection came like 15 seconds after he said it. At first I was like, oh, that's stupid. And I was like, oh no, wait, it's us understanding. And I started crying. I cried so much in this movie.
Did you cry both times when you watched it? Because you saw it twice.
Yes, I saw it twice. I cried both times. I think I cried at the rocket stuff more the second time, actually.
I think I didn't cry as much because as soon as I met those people, the other animals, I'm like, well, they're all going to die.
They're all going to die.
I was like, so I prepped myself.
So it reminded me. Do you know what it reminded me of? Grant Morrison's We Three with the dog and the cat and the rabbit.
It does. It does. Yeah. Yes.
Big time. Rocket. My God. I do love James Gunn being like, this has been Rocket's trilogy all along. I love that. There was some really cool superhero shit with him at the end. There was a shot where he was walking to go find those baby raccoons, and he was just framed in this giant doorway in shadow, like with his uniform and his gun. And I was like, Gunn just gave him like a dramatic superhero shot with no wink, wink, it's a raccoon. Mm-hmm. Like the whole end of the movie, Gunn treated Rocket like he is top tier Marvel hero, up there with Iron Man, and we fucking love it. Yeah.
And I think that's the way you said it, like it's treated the way I will tell you this, because also seeing this with a storyboard artist who is basically a DP, Joe loved it. So,
wow.
Which is very hard to do with Joe.
First time on this show I think I've ever heard that.
But I think it's also because he was like, he's like all of these action scenes, every moment it's shot with purpose.
It's intentional.
It's not
exactly.
everything's intentional.
That is the word for this movie.
Like the tunnel scene, like there was technically there, like when they go through the hallway, when they try to go through that hallway and
listen,
they have to,
the No Sleep Till Brooklyn scene.
Yeah.
It's my favorite action sequence in a Marvel movie. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It reminded me a lot of the Kingsman church scene.
Yes, exactly.
Where it was like, now we're just going to have a moment and just watch we follow one. They follow them each one by one as they're killing everybody.
Yeah, and I've never seen that first person action sequence like Kingsman with CGI in the mix. That was really cool.
Yeah. Now, I will say, here's some quips. Things that just a little didn't make sense. And not that it takes away from me liking the movie. Okay. I don't like it when they murdered all of these people in the hallway. Star-Lord murders poor Nico Santos.
I was going to say, how about Nico Santos? Oh my God.
Murders, and then Rocket and them go to kill the High Evolutionary. And he's like, I'm not going to kill him because we're the Guardians. And I was like, you've killed so many people already.
I turned to my friend. I was like, they just killed that man. They just killed him.
But I mean, he did blow up on that ship, so he's dead.
No, I know. I mean, Nico Santos. I was like, they just murdered him.
For Nico. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when they said like, we're not going to kill you because we're Guardians.
Yeah.
I'm like, first you're leaving him to blow up on a ship, so you are killing him. I thought that just didn't make it. I will just say that made no sense. I was like, I don't understand that.
Right. I think it could be interpreted as like Rocket is not going to give into rage or the lower impulses because he's a Guardian. But
you should kill the High Evolutionary because he's evil. Yeah. And he literally just genocided. That was the other thing I did not like. You know how I feel about genocide.
I know.
I don't like having in the background.
Thing. That's a very high evolution, like to wipe it all clean. No, kill them all. Like it's very heavy.
I know, but I thought they would save them, and I'm like, oh, they're all just blowing up now.
They saved the future. Them. They saved all the other animals.
Yeah, but that whole world got blown up.
I know.
And I feel once you blow up a world, sorry, Jean Grey, you can be shot in the head. You can shoot him in the head. It's not like, oh, I'm above this. No, they just murdered 1 billion people. I think you can shoot him in the head. Call me crazy.
But that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
High Evolutionary. Okay, I just said the hallway sequence, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, was my favorite action scene in a Marvel movie. Hi to my favorite villain ever in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, he's great.
Great. There's a whole...
I mean, you could tell... I mean, he was great in Peacemaker, too.
Oh, he's a fantastic...
As well. Did he die in Peacemaker?
Yeah. He was taken over by that alien, and he died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chiwetel Ejiofor was fantastic. He took it right from Thanos and Loki. Just took it away. And a lot of people are being like, okay, now, so can we get rid of Majors and just say this guy's a gang variant and then just cast
What
Chewie
are they going to do about that?
That's a big, big problem.
I will tell you this, because at first I was like, oh, maybe this will all blow over, because as bad as I definitely think he did something horrible to that woman, she was very much like being like, no, nothing happened. Ugh.
I mean,
however,
she probably got paid off, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It seemed like, it was just one. However, his agent dropped him.
Yeah.
And his PR dropped him. And I was like,
then Marvel should have dropped him.
But for me, it's like, if your agent and your PR drop them, that means they're like, and you're working a Marvel movie, that means you're probably the top people at this. You're fucking, what's the girl from Scandal?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just like, this is what I do. I clean up messes. And they looked at it and were like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not going to be able to fix this. So I don't know.
Footage or something.
There's probably or footage, or it's like a Cosby thing. And there's a bunch of people waiting in the wings ready to say something.
Yeah. A lot of hands raised in the room.
Yeah. So they need to figure that out. Because it just really doesn't. And that's the other thing is, even if all those other allegations were false, which I don't believe they are, the one thing that does seem everybody agrees on is that he's like really mean to everybody on set. And
that he's a total asshole. Like, we're done.
We don't need any more Allens. No more Allens.
Like, who the fuck are you?
Well, I think that's the reason is there's some actors that want to act because they love the craft. There's some actors that want to act because their dads didn't love them. Some actors want to act because they're narcissists with a power complex.
Right. What if you're all three?
And he's one of those. Oh my God. Well, no, you can't be all three, because the first one's the actual loving to act. I don't think you'd be a narcissist if you truly love the craft.
True.
Like me. That's why. No, I'm just kidding. What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
Anyway, they need to figure it out, because I'm just very worried that I basically am very worried this is going to be my last like Marvel movie I'm going to really like.
I mean, like, I'm at the point I'm like, do we just scrap the whole multiverse saga? Like, just kidding. We're not.
Well, yeah, we have to go through this whole multiverse saga when we should just go to the X-Men. I'm not that excited for Secret Wars. I'm not that.
I told you, like, the whole premise is like, and now what's going to top the Endgame portal scene? Oh, the same shit, but this time we're going to bring in Ben Affleck Daredevil too, and Jessica Alba Sue Storm also, and Halle Berry Storm. Like, and it's like, oh, that's not it.
But it's not it anymore, because everybody's doing that. We already did it in No Way. We already did it in No Way Home. That's the You're not going to get better than all the three Spider-Mans.
I mean,
we literally have two separate Spider-Man movies that have a multiverse. We have Titans, which has a multiverse. We now have the Flash movie coming out, which is a multiverse.
We have a movie that won every single Oscar on the planet about a
which
multiverse.
Was a multiverse. Yeah, multiverses are not the big, ooh, wow. It's just not it. Although, all right, I am excited for Ke Huy Quan in Loki, so...
Yeah,
I will like Loki.
Me too. I'm gonna.
But they need to just go to X-Men. Just do the fucking
Secret
X-Men.
Invasion. Like, I think I'm gonna be more into the whole. Like, just make it all about the Skrulls. I'm way into the Skrull shit.
I'm also just very scared in general, because I also feel I'm very scared about where the X-Men comics are going.
Did you see the promo?
We're not doing.
The promo for Fall of X, it's just the word rebirth in Krakoan.
No. I also couldn't find the free comic book. Did you read that?
No.
The free comic book day was the beginning of the Ultimate X-Men, or
and that's another thing.
Not the Ultimate X-Men, but the Uncanny Avengers.
Oh, it was?
Or what? Yeah, it was like it was the beginning of like how it's going to lead up to that.
Okay.
It was like Rogue and
Listen, we've seamlessly started talking about X-Men comic books, so we should.
Are we
let's put a button on Guardians.
Yeah, it was great. Final... I mean, what else can we say? It's fucking amazing.
Do you put it over the first one? Just to have like a rote ranking conversation.
For me, it's the same thing with like Scream. No matter how good the Scream movies
it's always going to be the first one.
The first one is the first one. So
but I'll tell you
it's
this.
not as good as the first one.
I
like it better than the second one.
Oh God, I hate the second one. I checked in with my MCU rankings, and Miss Guardians 3, she broke the top 10.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely in the top 10. Yes.
Great.
Yeah. I need to revisit that whole list to see officially where it will stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to put it over something like Infinity War.
No, that one. And I will say that's the other thing Marvel doesn't have anymore, where Endgame, Infinity War, where all of these amazing characters
of the properties coming together. Yeah.
Where now it's just like, it looks like Kamala and She-Hulk. You're like, it's just not enough for people to give a shit about.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Like as we're continuing to scrape the barrel of characters.
You still need the big guns.
Yes, exactly.
Big James guns.
Anyway.
Let's talk about X-Men. Hit that music, bitch.
I was reading X-Men comics in a cocktail bar. That much is true. Yeah.
I'm worried about where all this is going. I'm worried it's going to be bad, Brett.
Why are you worried about that?
I'm just scared that I want to know why when they're like, oh, Fall of X, I'm just scared they're wanting to do some kind of reset. And they want to like reset it back to the mansion. I feel like they want to reset it back to the mansion and there's no resurrection.
I mean, haven't we always known this day was going to come? What if they don't? They could keep it on Krakoa.
All right, well, all right. I'm going to keep my mind open. I will tell you this right now, this Immortal X-Men that came out was fucking kick-ass.
Immortal X-Men number 11.
We get Storm finally saying what the fuck she wants to say in her head, at least.
It's not like a great day for Storm, though.
No.
Not a great day.
No. But let's talk about Storm, as we've said this whole entire time. Storm is the only one that's kind of like knows what the fuck is the right thing to do.
She's the only one with her head screwed on right.
Yes. But she's not perfect. And we'll get to that later where Emma fucking calls her shit out in an amazing way. But we start with Storm brings up Xavier and she kind of talks about the whole thing of like, you told me that I was, that I thought I was a god and that, you accused me of how do you say the word hubris? Is that how you say that?
Yeah,
word?
hubris. Excessive pride.
You accused me of hubris and it was like, you fucking, how dare you? And then look what happened. We all saw this future where you were like, thought you would just like lead this crazy cult, which is kind of what he's doing now. And here's the one thing that I will just say. I've been thinking, all right, Brett, it's dangerous. I've been thinking, I've been taking some walks. I took a walk the other day and I was thinking about the X-Men. And I was thinking about there's just some problems with Krakoa in general that I just feel aren't addressed, which we've kind of brought it up, but especially with all the horrible things that are happening in America, with all these crazy laws that are passing and everything.
Yeah.
I do feel Krakoa leans more towards fascism and eugenics than any other type of government. And that is concerning to me.
Okay. I mean, there is a council, with it is, I guess it kind of doesn't really feel like a representative government. It's a
council based on a superior race.
Yeah.
And only the people of that race can come in. And if there's something wrong with you and you die, you can be reborn.
I know, but
fixed.
It's not fascism. It's more isolationism than anything else.
But I'm saying I feel the eugenics of it. Because I'll say this, and I'm going to remember when we...
Eugenics of it?
the eugenics of it. Remember when we got called out, when we were like, why was Karma brought back with her leg? And people were like, hey, that's ableist. And we were like, oh, you're right, that is ableist.
And fuck us.
However, it brings up a whole point of the idea that Krakoan rebirthing is a way to get rid of all disabilities, which is eugenics. So it's a very dangerous thing, this whole resurrection process.
That is true. I mean, you do have a reality manipulator standing over, your cocoon. Like, let's just perfect you a little bit.
Let's perfect you. And that is problematic.
I mean, but they've been good about like not really doing that, though. People have maintained their original states. Sure, they've asked to not remember.
I will say this, though. I wish they would address it rather than just bringing back Karma with the leg. I think these are conversations that need to be had because I think they're important. And all of that being said, I think the only person that knows what the fuck is what the real deal is fucking Storm. And what I want all of this fall to X to lead to is that Storm is just in charge of everything.
Is Storm supremacy. Oh,
and there is a thing where she realizes I can't be in two places at once. So she's going to ask Colossus. But I do almost think like you do need to be in charge of everything. You need to be in charge of everything because otherwise it's all going to go bad. Sorry.
No, that's true. I mean, it's kind of like what Nightcrawler has been saying all along. Like to me, I think, Storm has the spark, the spark is inventiveness, but it's also morality and it's also doing the right thing and having your head screwed on right. And, that line of like, we forgot to be people in the Sons of X book. We forgot to act like humans. Like, the first word of Homo superior is homo.
Yeah.
Hello.
And I think what she's seeing is, yes, the Sinister thing basically tapped in, and she saw in the future that, oh, this is when the Sinister taps in, this is what these people become. And what she's noticing is not, she knows everyone has the potential to be evil. She became a vampire. She was taken over by Inferno. She's had bouts where she's doused in evil, but she's regretted and come back. And I think she's looking at like, how are they reacting to now knowing what they did?
Yes.
And she sees Hope, and Hope fucking tries to fucking kill Exodus because she's like, you fucking killed me. You said I was a Messiah. It was all a joke. Fuck you. And then she realizes that Storm realizes Hope is acting this way because she is so ashamed of how she acted.
Yes. Yes.
And that's where Storm was like, there's hope for her. No pun intended. But she's like, okay, she gets it. I think Hope's going to be okay. Xavier, I don't think Xavier gets what he's done. So I don't trust him. I don't fuck with him.
No, I don't fuck with him.
Emma, however, it's so great because Emma is like, yeah, I was evil, whatever. I've been evil before, but I'm not evil now, whatever. What are you going to do? And she's like, I don't know if you're... And she's like, yeah, but guess what, bitch? Know who wasn't evil? You. And it took you fucking
5 years.
5 fucking years to figure it out.
Because you weren't.
She's like, how dare you? And I was like, oh,
because
shit.
You weren't paying attention. And that's what not you're stupid. You weren't paying attention.
You weren't paying attention. Oh, fucking Emma. Fucking just. Oh, I fucking.
And,
love this character.
And she's like, listen, don't sit there and like act all high and mighty that you don't want thrones and Araco and queenship is wrong. Like, take it from me. You love it. Like you're talking out of both sides of your mouth and you're going to go off and play Queen of Mars right now instead of being here and helping us through this. So bye.
Because basically she got Forge to figure out, okay, where is apparently the Sinister DNA? It's attached to their DNA in another dimension, like somehow, and they figured it out, but they still aren't 100% sure if that'll take care of it, if that will fully purge it. So technically, none of them are allowed to vote on the council.
Right. So
Exodus, Hope, Emma, and Xavier, they can be on the council and advise, but they don't get a vote. And I will say, so that's very interesting.
They should be replaced. because now you have a council of 5 votes, which now is getting us now we're getting dangerously close to fascism. I mean, or dictatorship anyway. Especially
because is there more bad guys than good guys on the voting council? And I think the other issue that we have that Xavier said is he's like, but you can't prove that it's gone. They're like, well, we'll never know if it's gone. And he's like, okay, well then does that mean I can never fucking vote? And it is a thing of like, when are you going to trust us? When can we vote? And that is who knows? I don't know. But
TBD. We'll circle back. Yeah. Put a pin in it.
This is what I wanted Immortal X-Men to be. It's all politics. And this is what I fucking
drama,
live for.
Like the kind of lesbian drama that's brewing between, Trouble in Paradise, Destiny, and Mystique. Thank you, Mother Righteous.
Mother fucking Righteous. So Mother Righteous left a little thing for Mystique. Now, is this basically the thing of her basically letting Mystique know that Destiny let the world turn to shit because she knew it was the longest she could be with Mystique? Is that what it is?
Yes.
And is Mystique going to be really mad about that, though?
I think so.
Oh, no. What are they going to do if they break up? If Destiny gets dumped by Mystique.
Ugly divorce.
Oh, shit. But also when she can see the breakup coming.
Oh,
boy. Girl.
Oh, boy. But she's going to be like, at least she's still alive. And I get it.
And there was that moment where Storm was like about to like, yeah, I know. I remembered why I wanted to fuck Forge.
Oh, yeah. The old magic. Also, Shaw is going to buy Krakoa. Like, he's like, if this place is done, he sees it coming. He's like, this place is not going to last.
Yeah, but he's buying it with the help of Mother Righteous, which means that she's totally
deal with the devil. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't believe any of that shit.
And then at the end of the day, Storm's like, whew, what a bunch of assholes. I hate my coworkers. I hate them. Except you, work bestie. I love you, Colossus. I'm going to tell you all my secrets and my PIN code. And he's like,
all right.
He's like, cool. Cool, sis.
And here's the thing I don't understand is why is Destiny not seeing that Colossus is a traitor? And why isn't it his brother making a move?
I know, right? What are you waiting for? Jesus.
What are you waiting for?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm waiting for. Sons of X.
Sons of X.
This went in a direction. And suddenly I feel better about Uncanny Spider-Man.
Yes.
Which is an upcoming title.
It looks like Nightcrawler, while his mom, was that not his mom, the person who raised him, right?
Yeah, his adoptive mother.
His adoptive mother had him turn into a monster. It looks like they were just sending him out murdering people.
Just assassinating politicians.
And so now that they finally were able to get rid of his demon side and get rid of that, because Mother Righteous basically just sucked up. And now I understand Mother Righteous's power, which we'll get into a second.
Yeah.
She basically killed his adopted mother, and he's now back to normal. However, because they still are like, oh, the guy was bamfing in and murdering people. So he basically is like, oh, I have to leave Krakoa because everyone thinks I'm murdering
they're harboring
politicians and world leaders.
An assassin.
Yeah. Which means why he has to put on and become the Uncanny Spider-Man. That makes sense.
It makes sense. He's on the run, but he still wants to do good and fix his wrongs. So it makes total sense, actually.
But this is the first time, and I don't know if I just didn't get it before, but if you thank Mother Righteous, it seems like that
she's got some sort of hold over you.
It causes it's a bonding spell to her.
Yeah, and so that's why Dominion ending with Storm saying, thank you, Mother Righteous, was a big deal.
Yes. So you're like, fuck. And that's the thing is we're like, why are we just trusting her? Because I think if you just say thank you, then you have this bond and then you do trust her.
Yeah.
I think the trust comes after the spell.
You fall under her thrall.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, that's a good power.
But she was outsmarted by Legion because he was able to kind of disappear himself. What did he do?
I hate when you ask me these questions.
Why? You don't remember?
I don't know. I didn't get it. No, that's not true. Blindfold helped him.
And is this kind of what he did the last time at the end of his comic before Krakoa? Didn't he kind of disappear himself from the timeline
I'm
at
not
the
sure.
end of that comic? Because I think Blindfold died. No, did she die in that one? No, she died in the Uncanny X-Men. But I think in the end of that, he disappeared himself. So basically, he outsmarted her. This is all basically is all one big story. It's all starting to coalesce into like one huge story now.
Yeah, like one that crosses all of the titles.
Yeah, and I'm really into it. Well, there is that, and then there's the whole separate idea of, because we have Mother Righteous, we have Mikhail, Colossus's brother, we have the Beasts, all of the Beasts, and we have Moira. Mm-hmm. And those are the new villains coming after us. Mm-hmm. And I'm here. I
feel like they're all coming at once.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if they're coming to Krakoa and then Beast does something in retaliation or in, like, to counter, and it's horrific.
Well, yeah, I have a feeling Beast is like, because he's like, they don't know, they don't appreciate what I'm doing. I'm doing this all for Krakoa. I think there's going to be a final point where they're like, fuck you, Beast. And he's like, fine, then fuck all of you. And he'll turn fully against them.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Legion versus Mother Righteous thing, and like basically it boils down to he's just like with Blindfold at his side doing some shit in the background, he's just more powerful.
Yeah.
That's all. And basically it comes down to like, you know, the faith that was established in Mother Righteous by him thanking her, it's not as powerful as the hope that he has in Kurt, that Kurt represents.
Yeah. Tricky stuff. Tricky.
And I love that it ends with a reveal of a painting by Weaponless Zen, who paints the truth.
It looks like he's about to be crucified. On an X. Or he was just having a fun night of bondage at the Eagle.
I think it's that.
There was also another book we didn't get to talk about last week, which is Captain Britain.
Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain #3.
Not much happened in it. It's just more Morgan Le Fay versus Betsy, but I just like this book. And I also like this book that had a thing where we actually had Rachel and Betsy talking about the use of their psychic powers with each other in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I found that interesting of just like, well, you don't just read my mind. It was like, no, well, I can, but I don't. But there's times where I just feel things and I can kind of sometimes
I can
things
just tell.
Like, I just like the idea that it's like, oh yeah, if it's your two psychics, this is a conversation.
It's a little it's like
you
porous.
Have to have.
Yeah. It's like slippery.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really good relationship stuff between Betsy and Rachel here as like doubt creeps into their relationship. You know, we meet up with Pete Wisdom and Excalibur with Faiza Hussein. That's great. You know, we've got problems with Morgan Le Fay and the Furies and, you know, do what I say, you fools kind of stuff. I think my favorite part, though, was the end where Psylocke courts Tony Stark while Morgan Le Fay courts Dr. Doom. I was like, oh, way to heighten, way to elevate.
Yeah. Fun.
The
X-Men are still in a fun place.
For now.
Unlike where they are in the rest of the world, which is just nowhere. Still pissing me off.
Just nowhere.
Can we just give me a TV show or something? I guess we're going to get the X-Men cartoon.
97. Yeah.
But that's not real.
I know it's not real, but Gambit's in it.
Yes. And we have good Magneto.
And Sunspot.
Oh, I did see the picture of Sunspot. Yay.
He's fun.
But is he going to be like kid Sunspot or fun, smart guy Sunspot now?
Maybe a little bit of both.
I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
I guess so, sugar.
Oh my goodness. We talked about a lot.
We did. A lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun.
We didn't talk about Titans, but next week is the finale.
Yeah.
So I think we'll cover Titans next week.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And we'll cover some Yellow Jackets.
That sounds great. Although one thing I do want to talk about
was fucked up.
Titans. Oh God. Oh my God. Mercy is Mercy Graves, Lex's assistant.
Yes.
Okay,
which
we got that.
We did.
We had a few listeners.
Yes.
We had a few listeners be like, "Hey, dummies."
Well, sorry, but it was explained this episode. I just needed one extra episode, and then it was all explained.
It wasn't explained because she was in the first half of the episodes.
I know, but I'm not expected to remember everyone's goddamn name.
I know that mid-season finale was so long.
Yeah, cut us some slack. I have Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Also, cut us some slack.
Yeah.
Okay. Rant over. And by that, I mean the episode.
Yes. Guys, thank you for listening. And please keep tuning in. We got more faggotry and Marvel and X-Men and just other comics in general. And maybe we'll even cover a DC comic. We did love a DC movie.
Listen, this is going to become a DC show in like a year, I predict.
I know, right? And I'm just going to let you know something. If you recently watched Guardians of the Galaxy and you thought it was great, well, I hate to break it to you, but that makes you
queer.
Bye. Bye.